Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the green energy event in which Archdruid is added, so let's get into that. The green-yellow trait stones that you get from the Archdruid, I would advise using on a Manticore if you have, your Ranger if you're using that as one of your main damage sources earlier on in the game, or if you happen to have a Forest Guardian, that would be another good option. There aren't really too many good green yellows, but those three should be sufficient for the trait stones that you get. So as far as the Archdruid, it's mainly for an elemental buffer. It gives a bunch of life and then 2 magic to an ally, and if they happen to be an elemental, it'll double that effect. Her stats are pretty much just right down the middle, a little bit more towards the HP. And as far as the traits, nothing really too useful. The fact that she can summon a Dryad on death is something that is unique only to her. So that is a thing. As far as anything else on her, there isn't really anything that is useful. So hopefully she can get that to trigger. Other than that, you really don't need the traits on her. As far as with this event, there was one other thing that was added. If we go over to Forest of Thorns, many troops in Forest of Thorns are now considered an elemental. There was 5, I believe. One of them was actually from Mr. Scales, which was Swamp Lash. Swamp Lash is now an elemental, and there were also several from Forest of Thorns, these being, well, the Archdruid that was just added. Gloomleaf is now elemental. Dryad is now an elemental. Rowan is now an elemental, and the Treant is now an elemental, so that will give her a little bit more synergy. And of course, she still synergizes with all of the other normal elementals. You would mainly use her with things that are really good with boosting on magic, things like a Lava Elemental, for instance, or a Yarrow Fire Mantle, or just any of the Guardians in general. And you'd also use her with anything that can get pretty tanky in first slot that happens to be an elemental, since it can get the double buff. As far as chests this week, it is the Forest of Thorns event. You can get Sylvanie Mora this week if you want. It is not the only legend in the drop pool though. Gloomleaf is also in the legendary drop pool this week. I wouldn't really advise trying to max them both to Mythic, as it will cost an insane amount of event gems, but I would definitely try getting them. Gloomleaf is confirmed to be going to be buffed next patch, and Sylvanie Mora is used in pretty much every dragon team there is you can work it into. So Sylvanie more so is really nice to have. Gloomleaf may be good to have in the future, but let's get into some teams with her. I was actually repicking some before this video because sometimes I end up repick spamming to make sure we don't get something like a really weird bone dragon, and then I end up repicking into almost the exact same team that I was going to show. So I had to go do a mirror match right now. We are using a different banner. We're doing the +2 red, +1 yellow, -1 brown, since we do not use brown. We're also using a slightly different order. The main reason for this is to get our green seer fed. We'll want to make sure we get it into that instead of the new troop. The main reason given is that we're using 3 things with green, and we'll be needing the green seer to summon or to cast as quick as possible so we can get that mana generation. So we'll just do this. As long as one of these surge, we will get all of our mana, and that's a pretty good chance right there. Plus, we're going to get some blue out of it as well. There we go. Perfect. I think both of them actually surged. We didn't need both. Hopefully, he'll align some greens for us. If so, we are pretty much good to go. We do have to deny red, but at least we're denying his reds as well. So it's kind of even there. Could have gone for brown, but wouldn't have been nearly as much mana, nor would we have gotten the extra turn. So there goes Gloomleaf. A little bit of a blockage right there from the Gloomleaf. But I'm probably still going to cast it off. Gloomleaf is really good on its first 2 casts due to how much armor it can steal. Every subsequent cast from it in its current state is pretty much useless. It's pretty decent earlier on in the game, starts losing value pretty quick. He is still a really nice tank. He is also one of only 2 troops in Gems of War that has an ability to reflect skull damage. He does a 50% reflect on all skull damage that he takes, and the other one is Hydra, which does a 3 damage reflect to all enemies whenever it takes skull damage. And unfortunately, those are the only 2 that currently exist. They may add more in the future, neither of which are really used that much, as both of their reflects are relatively low. 50% on Gloomleaf may seem somewhat okay, but against something like a Bone Dragon spam, or really just any spam, especially if they have a Courage, which is just going to give them all the HP that they're pretty much missing. So it doesn't normally work out that well in the current state of the game. But we'll see what kind of changes they make to it later. We'll get the green seer off. We definitely want to kill that out before it gets its cast off. That will limit us a lot, so Doesn't look like we can extra turn from it. We'll probably just take this. Oh wait, get out the way first. We do have our buff. My intention was to use this on our Gloomleaf, but our Gloomleaf's already so huge that I don't even think I need to. Should we take this? We can get green, but I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna hope he doesn't take this in a way that he gets green. Okay, good. So that did end up working out. We can steal even more armor if we want. We might as well. It's Gloomleaf week. We might as well steal all of its stuff. It's also at 50% bonus this week, which is pretty huge. Now it has 155 armor. Of course, armor isn't as good as HP, but getting that high is still really nice to have. Too bad Rowan... Oh, wait, never mind. Rowan is an elemental, but extra magic on us is going to do almost nothing, so we'll just cast it now. Hopefully get the kill. Nope, still need quite a bit more damage. She'll probably buff herself up. Yep. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit harder to kill. Too bad this doesn't give any mana. Really struggling to try to get a cast off with it, mainly because our green sphere already got all of its casts. I guess we could give it to our Rowan now. We just need to make sure we give it some more mana before we do, so let's do just that. Our Gloomleaf is blocking a little bit now, but it just got all of its mana and should be able to get the last of it. Yeah. Oh, nope, never mind. Almost the last of it. We get another green sphere right up, use it on our red, and yes, we will be able to get that last little bit. And we really don't even need the buff at this point, especially from that extremely good Cascade. We can pretty much already win. Though she was almost as here for the little bit of bonuses that she was giving to the team, because we are getting quite a few bonuses from this. We're getting +1 magic for 3 Fae, we're getting 2 life and 1 attack for 3 elementals, and because we're using a full Forest of Florence team, we're getting 3 life, 3 armor, and 2 attack as well. So a lot of stat bonuses, and she is helping to put that together. But yeah, we kind of didn't even need her. I guess we can give 1 buff off. You can see if we use it on an elemental, it does do double the buff. Unfortunately, there isn't anything in Forest of Thorns that, there isn't anything in Forest of Thorns that boosts based on HP. There is quite a few things in Forest of Thorns that can boost HP, but there's nothing currently in it that utilizes it that well. Maybe if they ever add a kind of elemental tank other than Gloomleaf, or maybe the Gloomleaf rework might end up working a little bit better with it. Well, let's go try doing a team now where it can synergize a bit better. And this is why I was repicking like crazy earlier. Bone dragons everywhere. And there we go, that's fine. Okay, we'll try this one then. And let's do this. Here is something where Archdruid will be able to get some pretty good buffs. Because Courage, really good to buff up Courage. Yarrow Firemantle, arguably the best thing you could possibly buff up with her. And we have this Winter Wolf, which is actually an elemental. And if our Yarrow ends up dying, it'll be a pretty, not tanky, but at least it'll be really, really offensive. It's one of the better elementals for skull damage that currently exists, so we'll go and shoot this out. Should be able to get up our Yarrow pretty quick, and then hopefully get it looping. It'll be able to feed the color into the new Archdruid, and that will help us get the buff on Yarrow to make sure he doesn't die. And if it does, we can just buff up the Wolf and make sure that doesn't die. Okay. So we'll just want to focus mana first. Good. We will be able to get that buff off pretty much right away. We can take a skull, but we don't really need to worry about Shegra taking skulls anymore. One kind of weird effect of it getting its rework is now it doesn't actually place burn whenever it takes skulls, so we don't have to worry about it burning us. So we might as well just take this turn to buff. It's not going to do nearly as much damage as we just healed it or gave it HP. Oh, all ones. Perfect. Right on all ones. Let's see if we can keep that for the rest of the battle. Probably not. But we'll start taking reds. Gonna need it desperately, not just to stop Shegra from burning us, but also to be able to get our Yarrow up. I think we've gave it enough skulls. Might want to stop. I'm scared of giving it a red right here, but we'll just take it upwards. I do need it. Oh gosh, and I just gave it a red. That's exactly what I did not want to have happen, because we need those reds. But we'll just start on the Winter Wolf. Would be really beneficial if we can get a freeze on it, especially if it does get Shegra up before we can get the damage out to be able to do anything. So there is a freeze that we can do. Unless there's 13 or more blue, we won't be able to get it though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, we got it. Please, extra turn. Ooh, no extra turn, but at least we got some of our mana back. Neither of them surged. Okay. Well, he's going to go on green seer right here. That will hit. Not enough for all the mana, though. If we can just take a skull. There we go. Nice. Ooh, is it more worth taking the red or go for the skull? Probably the skull because of courage. Also because one red will not be enough for a Shegra. Never mind. And his Shegra actually died. What did kill it? Wait. I'm confused now. That wasn't enough skull damage. I'll need to watch out on replay. Wait. Seriously, what did kill it? I'm confused now. Let's move on. This is why you don't record at like midnight. Anyways, we'll take our green. And we'll buff it up again. We are getting a lot of magic on it right now. So we'll just get even more. That'll bring it up to 35. 35 per cast, pretty decent. Looks like I just left the reds there, which will give it a web spinner. We'll just let that go. I highly doubt it's going to be enough to kill out with web spinner. We do have to be pretty careful with skulls though, because that will be able to kill our Ural. But there's no way he's going to be able to AoE with all that hitting damage on us, hitting all of our enemies. That's not going to be enough. So we'll just throw that down. Yep, get our reds, get our yellows. Need to focus those reds as much as we can, especially since he doesn't really use them too. So that'll be pretty good for us. He won't really be trying to take them either. I do want to get a freeze on it, but we have a pretty good chance of just being able to kill it. But, okay, we're going to go for it actually, because it's going to... Oh! I know what it was. It was Hunter's Mark. Duh. Hunter's Mark. Fail. I forgot it was still 100 marked. That would explain everything. Yeah, 100 marked is 2 times skull damage whenever you hit it with a skull. Yeah. Almost forgot about that, Archie. I did forget about that for a moment there. But we'll throw that down. Fail, fail, fail. Yeah, it freezes in Hunter's Mark whenever you cast the Winter Wolf. We'll get that down. Good, we did get the extra turn. Hopefully the reds are still there. Okay, yes they are. Good. And yep, now it's pretty much over. We got Courage Loop going. We got the Ural able to do whatever it wants to do. And at that point, we have won. So we were able to do that to get an insanely high amount of HP. She did help quite a bit this time. Gave us all the HP we really needed. Gave us a decent amount of magic so we can start doing more per poke. And is 1 skull enough? No. If we buff it, I believe it'll be enough. Or pretty close to it. Yes, that definitely is overkill. So there we go. As far as this troop, generally, there's not any elementals I would say it's worth using. You definitely want to get a couple of them just for the trait stones, because it's a pretty useful trait stone if you need to get some of those up. Forest Guardian is used in pretty much every all-beast team. It's the only thing that can really make all-beast pretty well. Mana Core is a really cheap impervious, and if you're just using Ranger and you don't already have it traded, it's one of the better troops for damage that you can easily get earlier on in the game. So I would definitely advise getting your Ranger up if you're below level 200, because it is a really nice troop to have on your team. But anyways, that will wrap it up for this video. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.